All right. I want to welcome all of you to our PolarConnect event. Today is going to be a very interesting day. Hopefully, we will be able to hear from our teacher, Kevin Dickerson, and the lead PI, Dr. Byron Adams. I'm getting some feedback, so just hold on a moment. They are going to be talking about their research that is being conducted down in Antarctica. It's related to the dry valleys and the ecosystems associated with that. Today is February 6, 2019. At the moment, the team has not joined us. I anticipate them calling in through Skype here in a little bit, and then we can quickly go to them and connect and have them do their presentation. So we're going to do a few things before hopefully they join us. In case you've never used Adobe Connect, what will happen today is you should see some pre-set up content that Kevin sent us. It'll be showing in the center of the screen like a slideshow and kind of talk about the science and what they're doing down there. We are going to ask that most people stay muted for a majority of this presentation and that we can just hear from the research team. If you have questions, and we can go to those in a little bit. Judy, I'm going to let you go. Keep continuing because Kevin's calling me right now.
Okay. So, 1 second. Moving on to the next. So we ask you to introduce yourself in the public chat box. If you can give us your name and where you're joining from, and if you have any students or other participants with you, let us know who's joining you. Also, so during the presentation, we will have Kevin and Dr. Adams presenting, and we'll have you type your questions down in the public chat area. Janet and I will keep track of those questions and find a good time to insert them in the presentation, or it could be that we'll wait until the end of the presentation. But don't worry if you don't hear your question answered right away. We will keep track of them and ask questions as we go along. Okay. What is PolarTREC? PolarTREC is a program that is administered by the Arctic Research Consortium of the U.S., or ARCUS, and that is funded by the National Science Foundation. It's a professional development program for K through 12 teachers who are paired with researchers to go out with the research team to the Arctic or the Antarctic. And we've had over 150 teachers from around the U.S. and even Puerto Rico that have joined researchers to learn about their science in the polar regions, and then to go back to their communities and share it in their classrooms and also throughout their local and extended community. All right, so right now we're going to wait to see whether we hear from Janet and Kevin. So we're doing things a little differently today. We are, because it's so difficult to connect down in Antarctica, we are having Kevin connect through Skype. And then to Janet, and then Janet was going to have Kevin's Skype camera up on so that you can see it right now. So we're waiting right now to see whether that's going to work or not. We've done testing in little bits and pieces, but we haven't been able to do the whole thing all at once. So hold on just 1 second and let me see. But in the meantime, please go ahead and introduce yourself. And Janet, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm going to actually hold up my phone, and I want to see if Kevin can hear you talking. He can hear me, but I want to see if he can hear you. So say something there, Judy.
Okay. Hi, Kevin, from the balmy northern climate here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can. Okay, now I got to try something else there.
Okay. For those who are waiting, please, it looks like a number of people have written in the chat area, but please introduce yourself if you haven't already.
Judy, he's going to be talking, okay? So I need to see if you guys can hear him. Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, that is pretty hard to understand. It's not easy to hear.
It's hard to understand, Kevin, because of the wind, actually. Can you hear me now?
A little bit better than earlier, but still pretty hard to hear.
Okay, let me try just sharing him, and then that might take care of some of this. Hold on.
Okay, hopefully the screen opening will be Kevin. There he is. Yay! And he is up on what's called Obs Hill or Observation Hill. So he wanted to do this specifically to bring you guys outside so you can see a little of the scenery.
Judy, can you hear me?
Janet, we can't hear anything though.
Okay, Kevin, can you talk?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Judy.
It's really loud.
Okay.
And I find it hard to understand him, but we definitely
did you hear that at all, Kevin? She can hear you, but it's kind of windy is what the issue is.
Okay. All right. I've got the mic kind of down in my coat. Is it doing any better now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, on my end. What's that, Judy?
Yes, we can understand you better.
Okay.
Yes, we can understand that better.
Okay, I'll keep on talking there now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay, how about it, Judy? Anything on your end? Is it better? Okay, great. All right, so Kevin, why don't you say hello to the world say hi to Kevin, and what we're going to do for this little bit, Kevin, is we will just have you on for I'll share my screen with you on it for a little bit, and then we'll go to your slides, and they won't see you, but we'll walk you through the slides, and I'm hoping this will work. Anyway, we'll just try it and see how it goes. So, Kevin, you go ahead and introduce yourself and say hi.
Hi, this is Kevin Dickerson. I'm with Dr. Byron Adams from Brigham Young University, also here with me. And we are coming to you from McMurdo Station on Ross Island. That is just within eyeball sight of the
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming you got pushing through the slides. Are you on the slide now that introduces Dr. Adams?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can take a minute and read that. Dr. Adams is right here on my side. We'll get an awesome discussion from him. Here in just a second, I'm going to do the easy part. I'm going to tell you about living here and what it was like to get here, the adventure part. And then he's going to tell you about the cool world of the animals out in the dry valley where we've been working. So he'll be on in just a second. We go to the next slide. There's the size and distance. We're in Antarctica. That's the South Pole. We are on the fifth largest continent. You look and see it is larger than the United States. It's a big hunk of dirt with ice on it. It's not like the North Pole that has ice floating around. But this is a continent. Some facts, it is the coldest. It's the windiest. I can testify to that right now. You could probably hear the wind blowing through the mic. I've got the mic tucked down into my jacket, trying to keep it out of the wind. But the windiest, it's also the highest continent. The South Pole is almost at about 10,000 feet. So it is a high continent, and it's the driest continent. We're in a desert here in Antarctica. It's a frozen desert here. Next slide. We'll show you how we got there. Let's kind of go through that quick. But our group, we took off to San Francisco. You go to the next slide. You see from San Francisco, we had a nice ride into New Zealand. It took about 16 hours. We tried to get a little bit of rest, but we landed in Auckland, and we gained a day as we went across the date line. That was kind of fun. Other than it was New Year's Eve, so we totally skipped New Year's Eve. When we landed, the guy on the intercom said, Happy New Year's. We didn't even get a chance to celebrate. But anyways, we crossed the international date line. And then we hopped another plane and went to Christchurch, about an hour and a half flight. And you can go to the next slide. We started now on our trip to see if we can get down to the ice, to McMurdo. In Christchurch, we met with the United States Antarctic Program. We got, we were issued our ECW, our extreme cold weather gear. You'll see that in a minute when the video turns back on, but it's keeping us nice and warm out here in our conditions. We have training on how to be safe and how to be clean, how to keep Antarctica clean there in Christchurch, New Zealand. And we hopped on. You can see that plane up on the top right. That's an LC-130. The Air Force has been given the assignment to get people down there to the ice. And so if you look real close in that picture, you can see that there are skis on that plane underneath the wheels. I'm sure that adds a little bit to the aero performance flying out, but the skis so you can get to the ice. See the picture on the bottom right? It's not that aircraft. We were all going kind of E to E there on that flight. And we were about an hour into our flight, and I learned a new term on this trip. And that new term is boomerang. If you go to the next slide, you'll see a picture of me with my thumb down. That's back in Christchurch. We had an hour and a half flight out over the ocean, and we were informed that the skies of McMurdo were not going to let our plane land. So we turned around, went back, and thank goodness we had a boomerang bag, which basically had our toothbrush in it, and we could get out another packed plane. So we have whatever you have in your little bag. So go to the next slide, and we climbed back on the plane the next day, went through the same lines that we did, and got back into our seats and took off. And at about the, I guess about the 6 or 7 hour mark, that's one of the, like, 2 windows in the plane that I'm looking out, and you can start to see a little bit of ice floating around in the ocean. so I knew we were getting kind of close. So had those icebergs, got a little bit closer, and you can see the mountains, huge, just these mountains rising up. So you know, we started to get to the land. We still had probably another hour flight over the Antarctic terrain, and then they told us to get our seatbelts. We descended in. You'll go to the next slide. You'll see the top left. That's our team, and we got deep down on the ice. We were pretty excited. You can tell by the huge smiles there. Now, technically, we haven't reached Antarctica yet on that picture. We are headed here to McMurdo, and that's not Antarctica. That's an island. But we were so close, and I knew it was coming at that point, so it was starting to get real. And another icon that I had heard about, that I was just hoping to see, it's a famous kind of a person. The picture on the right, that's Ivan. I wanted to see Ivan for a long time. That's our big old Terrabus. We got a chance to go up Highland there. Those big blue tires, we drove across the ice shelf and came on up into the science station. I kind of picture it like the International Space Station, but here on this island. It's a little city just loaded with smart people, interesting people. Picture on the bottom left, one of my favorite places here on the island, that's the galley. 24-hour buffet. Pizza, we got shrimp and steak. Just whenever you go hungry, you march on down there. So that was one of my good dinners. You can see there bottom left. On the right, we spent 2 days getting training. You're seeing a picture right there where they're doing some survival training for us. We're learning how to set up tents. They came in handy about a week ago. We got stranded out in the field, and every time the helicopter lands, they throw out these survival bags. So we packed together, left the stove, cooked the food, and set up the tent. So go to the next slide, please. You'll see a little picture of Antarctica and where McMurdo is. Down there on the bottom right, I've got that circle. So yeah, we're on Ross Island. Go to the next slide, please. Ross Island, we share this island with the second hugest, biggest volcano here in Antarctica. It's Mount Erebus. It's over 12,000 feet tall, and it's active. It's got steam blowing. I wish we had a clear sky today, but yeah, it's an active volcano. It is the most southern active volcano. So we share the island with Mount Erebus. Go to the next slide. You'll see a picture of Mount Erebus pushing out a little bit of steam there. And then go to the next slide, and that is looking right behind me now, McMurdo Station. And maybe while you've got that up, I'll give you a little tour of the city. That blue building right in the middle, Building 155, also known as the Galley, also known for me as the 24-hour buffet. And like I already told you, great food there. If you look down just below on your picture, there's a kind of some long buildings, little rows. Those are the dorms. And so we have rooms in there, just like little hotel rooms, just a bed and a desk. That's about all that's in there. The lab, I've got a better picture of the lab. I'll show you that here in a minute. But maybe when we turn the that we work in. On the top left, you'll see there's a little red star. That's our window right there. We can look out that window out into the Ross Sea. Yesterday we saw killer whales going by. There's a few penguins, lots of seals out there. So that's our view right outside the window. Top right, that's our fume hood. I'm measuring out some soil at that point. That's what Dr. Adams will talk to you about is what we do, how we look at the animals that are in the soil. Bottom left, we're separating out the soil and the animals through a real cool procedure that we can do. I've learned how to do this. We do it with my science class at home. I teach 9th grade science in Utah. The bottom right is where we spend a lot of time. That's Dr. Adams there. We have another professor with us, Dr. Power. He's like the world-renowned specialist of nematodes. And those we look at, they count each one of them. Their left hand have little clickers, and then their eyes are looking through, and they spend hours counting all these worms that we bring back. So Dr. Adams will talk to you more about that. Go to the next slide. This group is part of what's called the LTER, the Long-Term Ecological Research Network. There's about 28 sites around the country, around the world, where the National Science Foundation has felt important enough that they support scientists going into this area. There are 2 here in Antarctica. One here at McMurdo in the dry valleys where we go, and the other one is on the peninsula in Antarctica, the PolarTREC Station. But the idea is these scientists will go out all over the world and will do their science, ask important questions, come up with data, and then they get together and share their data and see what they can come up with as far as the ecology over the whole world. And so it's great. We're a part of that. If you'll click again, you'll see our logo. I think it's pretty cool, so I had to throw that in there for the McMurdo Long-Term Ecological Research. So you see it started in '93, so there is some long-term data that's really being collected here. It's great. Go to the next slide. And this is kind of a little diagram showing you, with the photo, showing you of a typical area where we work. And these are the different teams within the McMurdo Long-Term Ecological Research Team that goes out there. There is a group that is on the glaciers. They study glaciers. They're finding living things in little pools of water on top of the glacier, and they study the chemistry inside and underneath. In fact, my very closing slide that says questions on it, look close into the background, you'll see it's all red. They call it blood falls, and that's from the chemistry of the water that comes underneath that. People go blood falls. We don't have enough time to talk about it. Super cool. One of my favorite places I was able to go to. Let's go to the next slide. And I'm checking my watch here. Okay. The next slide shows where the dry valleys are. And you look at the right, you see Ross Island, and the little dotted line shows our helicopter flight that we take. And it takes us out right there to the mouth of those valleys. And we've been in most of those. In fact, Dr. Adams and I have a helicopter flight for noon, and we're going to go back out there here in just another hour or so, back into one of those other valleys. So I'm glad that the weather was bad. Dr. Adams got bumped on his flight till noon, so he was able to join us. And I can get on the helicopter. So excited about that. Push it right one more time. So the idea with the different teams that come here to the dry valleys is to study these different areas, the glaciers, the soils, streams, and lakes. And each team goes out and spends like a month here gathering bottom left, it looks like dirt that we're flying over, but that is the ice shelf that goes over the sea. So when you're looking at that dirt, and on the right-hand side, those crystal, like turquoise blue pools, those are pools of water and dirt that is on top of the ice shelf. It is in places like hundreds of feet thick, and then the ocean is underneath that. So pretty cool. We fly over the top of that to get to the dry valley. Push the next button. Go to the next slide. We go flying into the dry valleys. Big, huge, jagged mountains, huge glaciers, super pretty areas. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Yeah, those are the pictures there. I've got 2 or 3 pictures on there of some of the different campsites where I've been. And like I said, most of those pictures are like midnight or 2 in the morning. It is so cool to go camping out and never need a headlamp until it's time to go to bed. That's that picture on the bottom left. I'm trying to make it nighttime for me. So I take my good beanie, slide it over my eyes, and try to get it's so pretty to be. I like the light. So keep me busy here. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Okay now? Can you hear me okay now, Janet? Okay. All right, we're good? Okay. So Dr. Adams now, he's going to take over, and he's going to talk to you about some of the animals that we get a chance to see and learn about. So you hold on for just a second. I'm going to hand him the mic and the headphones. Right, you won't be able to hear her at all. Okay, so she gives you the thumbs up and you can hear her now. Good. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. All right. So the first slide that you're looking at here talks about the animals that we drive out. The iconic animal of Antarctica, of course, is the penguin. They're super cute, but they are marine mammals, and they don't live in the dry valleys. If you go to the next slide, you'll see what a penguin looks like if they go up in the dry valley. That's not a good place for penguins. It's a harsh neighborhood there. The penguins don't like it. They don't do so well. The other animals of Antarctica are seals. You go to the next slide. You see like the mom seal and the baby seal. Really cute. Yeah, but you go to the next slide, you'll see what happens to seals that go into the dry valleys. Seals are marine mammals. They live in the ocean. And if they go up into the dry valleys are way too harsh for them. It's too dry, it's too cold, it's too windy. So they're charismatic migrators are big ostrich animals on top of the Antarctica. If you go to the next slide, are nematode birds.
Too windy. Too windy. Yes. Lot of wind.
What?
Lot of wind.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. Now that's
Okay.
that's perfect. Whatever you're doing right there, don't move.
So the next slide, you'll see that there are, in addition to nematode worms, there are tardigrades. These are little water bears. They're really cute. The worms and the tardigrades are less than a millimeter long, so about as long as a dime is thick. That would be like a giant-sized animal of terrestrial Antarctica. If you go to the next slide, you'll see a tardigrade egg. And if you think tardigrades are tough, can you imagine laying an egg that looks like that? You'd have to be really tough to lay eggs like that. If you go to the next slide, you'll see a rotifer. And a rotifer is an animal that has these small spinning wheels on the front, and it sucks, makes water current that sucks down into its gullet. And those are pretty much the biggest animals on the continent. And so what we do is we study the animals of Antarctica, and we look at how their populations change according to climate, so how the climate changes. We look to see how their communities might change. And we also do some experiments. So we might add water, or we might warm up
environment, or we might add carbon or nitrogen or something to their environment, and then look to see how they respond. And so those are the experiments that we do. And so you might be asking yourself, well, what do you do? Like, whatever, like, why is this cool? And we just want to point out that understanding how soil ecosystems work is a really important thing for us to know if we like clean water, if we want fertile soils, if we want to grow food, if we want to have our natural ecosystems take care of our dirty water and that sort of thing. It's really important to understand how these soil ecosystems work. So we're here in Antarctica trying to learn how these soils work here. So if you go to the next slide, you might be like, yeah, whatever, dude, but like, why? Well, I got worms in my backyard, man. Like, why go to Antarctica? And the answer to that question is that down here we have really simple ecosystems. Where you live, I looked at where you guys live. Almost all of you are from North America somewhere. If you went out of your backyard and you scooped up a handful of soil, you would have thousands and thousands of tiny little animals in there, and maybe 30 or 40 species of just nematode worms alone. And down here in Antarctica, nature has done this nice experiment for us by making it so there's only a few species of these organisms, and they also made it so there's no plants. So there's no plants above ground that take things out of the atmosphere, right, like carbon dioxide, and then move it into the soil. So we want to understand how soils work in a very fundamental way. We can do it here in Antarctica in a natural laboratory where the experiments have already been done, and we just need to come and collect the data. Now, if you've ever played Jenga, that's a really fun game that you play with blocks where you pull the blocks out. Well, our ecosystem is kind of like a Jenga game where we're studying how many species you could remove from an ecosystem before the ecosystem collapses and it doesn't function correctly anymore. So because we have very few species, we're able to use this analog, this Jenga game kind of approach to understanding how this ecosystem works. And like I could do experiments that are kind of like this in my laboratory back at home in a greenhouse or something, but like all my science friends would say, yeah, cool experiment, bro, but that's a greenhouse, that's what we call an ecosystem. But down here in Antarctica, we're studying real ecosystems. So I think I already told you about the next slide. It talks about why we should care about Antarctic soil. I just want to tell you that it's kind of complicated. If you go to the next slide, though, you'll learn that there are these strategies that these organisms have come up with. They have these amazing adaptations that allow them to live down here. Because in Antarctica, you have to learn how to tolerate freezing, and you have to learn how to tolerate being dried to a crisp. And these animals have figured both of these out. And so one of the strategies that they use is instead of, let's say, so when your fingers get really cold, the water in the cells might start to freeze. And when that happens, it forms ice crystals in the cells in your fingers, and these ice crystals are like little ninja stars. And they keep growing and growing and getting bigger until they mess up the cells in your finger, and you have to go to the hospital and all that kind of stuff. It's a bad idea, right? Don't let your skin freeze because it kills the cells. Now, these animals have figured out a way to get around that problem. The first way is they just get rid of all the water in their body altogether at first, right? So they dehydrate themselves. They freeze dry. And so if you don't have any water in your cells, then there's no water to freeze. Problem solved, right? However, sometimes you start to freeze, like if you're in a block of ice filled with water and it starts to freeze, you don't dry out. You're just freezing while you're already fully hydrated. These animals have come up with anti-freezing the water crystals as they're growing and prevent those ninja stars from going really big inside their cells and doing damage to their cells. So if you go to the next slide, you can see like this cartoon that shows what a cell
start addressing that?
Yes. Hold on. I think I have you. I think I'm sharing. I can't see anything. I can't see the questions,
Okay.
so Judy's going to have to come on and share the questions with us.
Yes, not as clear as the Janet,
Yep.
but I can hear you.
So, Kevin, can you hear me okay? Okay. Wally Pershawn asks, did you use any of
that's
your
a couple.
tricks to keep
Yeah.
warm? And
So
what
Wally's
is your
one of my search
favorite
and rescue
food?
friends. Yeah, so when he's talking about tricks, yeah, he's taught me some great stuff out here to stay nice and warm. Oh yeah, I've learned, to keep my belly fed. Those two go right together. We really keep the hypothermia away by lighting the fire on the inside. In fact, inside my coat here, I've got it loaded with chocolate bars. They are always throwing chocolate at me to keep the temperature down. But we've learned after the beer competition on this continent, is it windy? Okay, is that any better if I do that? Okay, yeah. So we don't use cotton at all. We wear several layers. And something else that Wally will be proud about, for about 6 days, 5 days I think, I was with the dive team. And we were out, I didn't go down, but I was with the team. There's about 4 of us. There were 2 divers, and they would go down in under the ice, about 12 feet thick of ice. And, you know, we're super careful. We have throw bags ready in case if somebody went in. And so we always had our first aid kit. So, yeah, we try to stay way safe. When we are here at the station, they categorize the weather in 3 different types. And if it gets to the worst one, category 1, nobody can leave a shelter. You have to stay in the closest building there is. And if it's category 2, you have to always report in. You have to carry your radio, check out with the fire department. So, yeah, I've tried to learn what he's taught me and keep myself safe. My favorite food, is whatever they're serving that day. I haven't had one yet. They have Friday night is steak night. They have Sunday night brunch. They throw the shrimp out then. There's whatever you can think of, 24-hour pizza every single day. So, yep, I'm doing well that way.
And Judy, I can see some of the questions, so I can ask some of them. I know, I figured that. So one of the questions from Josh is, what are the current weather conditions? I guess, what do you classify this weather? It looks pretty cold to me.
Okay, yeah. So do you have video now? Can you see me?
Yes.
Can the audience see us?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, let me do a little spin around then. I didn't know you could see. We'll give you a little tour.
Yep.
So, okay. So there's the city behind me. Blue building. That's the galley. That's where the pizza is. We keep rotating. And right down over the hill there's our helicopter. We're going to be getting on one of the 212s. And that's one the Wally used to fly in the military. So we'll be going out there. We're going out over the Ross Sea, out over the ice shelf, out to the dry valley, straight out. So, for the weather, it is cloudy, as you can see. It was windy enough and cloudy enough that, thank goodness, the flight today for the crew got delayed till noon, so I can go with them. Winds right now, that's probably 20 miles an hour. Temperatures probably upper teens would probably be my guess here. Dr. Adams and I took a flight 2 or 3 days ago up into one of the high valleys, and we were working out there, and I think he said it was 17 below, so we had to work quick. We didn't take our clothes off for very long then.
All right. So, Mrs. Adams wants to know, despite the cold and the missed helo flights, would you do this again?
Here, I'm going to let Mr. Adams ask that question. Miss Adams asked, where you missed the helo flights and had the struggles like that, would you do that again? That's from Miss Adams.
Miss Adams, with all the hassle, you can see me. All the hassle and everything, I would the Miss Helo flight. The science is definitely worth it. And, but I do miss it. I'm looking forward to the answer.
By the way, this is Adams, part of Dr. Adams. By the way, Miss Adams is also Dr. Adams. She's a professor at BYU also. But she was with Byron last year. She knows all about what's going on here.
Okay. So we have a question from Sean. He's in 2nd grade, and he wants to know, does Mount Erebus ever cause avalanches?
Oh, does Mount Erebus ever cause avalanches? I'll tell you, yeah, it's a steep enough mountain. It reminds me a lot of Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is a little bit bigger than Erebus, but they both just shoot right up out of sea level. So to stand there and look up, it is a huge mountain. It has very steep slopes to it. So, yeah, there's a lot of snow that is up there. You know, it's glaciated, but I'm sure there's avalanches up there all the time. It's a concern. There's scientists up there all the time when the conditions are okay, and that is one of the things that the mountaineers really have to watch out for in keeping everybody safe.
Okay, good. Eliza is in 3rd grade, and she wants to know, have you seen a lot of penguins?
No, haven't seen a lot of penguins. And, well, I could probably count them up. I'd say I've probably seen 200. Now you're like, oh, well, that's a lot of penguins. Right here in McMurdo, this bay that you can see that is open ocean now, it has been all filled in with ice, sea ice. And about a week, 10 days ago, Coast Guard icebreaker come plowing through that. It was so fun to watch that thing push through the ice. It took a long time. You couldn't even see it moving. It was like watching the minute hand of a clock. But they broke through the ice, they got in here, and then the wind blew and knocked the ice out. So the reason I tell you that is penguins need that open water to get in and out of the ocean so they can get up on the ice. So this was all filled in. But when we took our flights and we crossed out over where the edge of the sea ice was, where you could see open water, that's where we started seeing a whole lot more seals. We saw the killer whales, and penguins were lined up out there. So I guess, yeah, I've seen a lot of penguins, but it's been from the air. It's been from the helicopters we've gone by. There's been one or two that have been right out here in front of camp, but not like you see in the movies where they're all holding up, you know, like 10,000 of them all squawking together.
Okay, let's see. Marina from your class, she wants to know, do your nostrils ever freeze?
Oh, well, I'm hoping she's not looking too close because my nose drips and then it freezes. And Dr. Adams, in fact, I put it on my site yesterday. I made a journal. But yeah, he calls them snot sickles. So, but my mustache tries to keep my face warm, and I'll have to keep on wiping. I've got these gloves here, and people think that's for keeping your hands nice and warm, but we all know that's just for putting against your face. But you're probably seeing as the time goes on, my lips are not moving as well. So yeah, lips do get frozen a little bit.
Jennifer Bolt, who's a PolarTREC alumni, says, this brings back wonderful memories. Enjoy your time and take it all in.
Well, yeah, you know, I've been here, it's going to be coming up 7 weeks, and I haven't done it all. There's so many things down here in town. Tonight, I'm hoping to get down to the wastewater treatment plant and take a tour down there. We have our own sewer plant down here. You can't just dump our stuff out into the ocean. But that's a bunch of science going on down there. I've been to the hospital down here and taken a tour through there and the fire department. So even through town, man, I could spend another month going around and learning how this city works. And every one of these flights that Dr. Adams takes me on, I have trouble working. And he tells me, he says, hey, dude, you got to stop every minute or so and just look around and see what you can see. Pick up your head and start appreciating what you see. So, yeah, I wish I'd be like him and have 16 trips here.
I hear ya. Ms. Russell wants to relay. She said, hearing on the news about there is nothing under the ice there, what have you learned about that?
Here's what I think. This might have to do with that. So the question got from Mrs. Russell is, I'm asking the pro here. Mrs. Russell heard that there's nothing under the ice here. I'll start to kind of talk, and if Dr. Adams wants to add, you know what, you want to think about the ice sheet? You told about the submarine that you told me last night? He had a cool story. While we were eating dinner last night, he told me about the ice sheet. I had no idea. And he has a quick little bit of information about what you could do with a submarine here.
Cool. That sounds intriguing. Hello.
I'm Mrs. Russell. They're huge, and they're 2 miles thick, and the ice runs off the continent, and then it comes to the edge of the continent, runs down towards the ocean. And the ocean here actually goes along the front of the Antarctic mountains. And so as that ice comes out, it's really thick, and it comes out over the top of the ocean. So it makes what's called an ice shelf. And so the ice can be hundreds of feet thick, but it goes for about 500 miles back from where we are to the Antarctic mountains. And so if you had a submarine that had a really good gas mileage, you could take the submarine for 500 miles under this ice shelf and then come back. Now, that ice shelf is ocean, it's seawater, and there are marine animals that live there. And so a couple of years ago, my colleague from Priscu, he drilled a hole through the ice shelf into the ocean down there, and he found all kinds of cool fish and sea anemones and copepods and stuff like that. Subsequently, they've drilled into subglacial lakes, and they found microbes that are living in these subglacial lakes and in the subglacial streams. And they just finished a project here about 3 weeks ago where they drilled into a subglacial lake again and found microbes that are active, and they also found parts of animals and things that lived a long time ago. So that's a long answer to probably a quick question about what lives underneath the ice here.
All right. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Oh, just another comment from Jennifer Bolt. Wastewater plant tour was awesome. They do a great job. Even got to see some water bears.
Dr. Oz, I'll spin you back around here.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Right back over our shoulder. Let's see if I can get about. Well, like that. Can you see the boat? Can you see the ship out there?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
But anyway, it's right by the ship. That is where the water treatment plant is. And, yeah, Dr. Adams wanted me to be sure because he's a tardigrade kind of guy, too. He knows all about see where they... Yeah. He needed to get a sample of tardigrades.
No. Too windy. Too windy.
Okay, all right, let's try it
Okay.
again here. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay, Okay, all righty. Yeah, I was just saying that Dr. Adams would like a sample of those tardigrades so we could take them back to the lab and see who he could figure out who their daddies are.
So there's a question about that from Dr. Adams, the other one. It says, how many nematodes, tardigrades, and rotifers have you counted?
All right, I'm going to put him back to Dr. Adams number 2 then. Or put her back. Okay. Dr. Adams wants to know how many rotifers, nematodes, tardigrades have you found?
So far we haven't finished running all of our samples yet, so we don't know how many we've found yet. But they're in the multiples of tens of thousands so far. So I can just say a successful season so far, counting tiny animals. There are lots of them down here. All right, Kevin.
Excellent. Okay, we have another question from your classroom. If you have to send all waste and all back to the mainlands, where do you get your drinking water, or is it shipped in? Good question.
Oh, yeah, good question. So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Going there now? Okay. The drinking water, when we're out in the field, come from the lakes. We don't have to worry about giardia, because giardia, it's carried by deer and other little mammals and things like that. So we just slurp right out. Well, we take clean containers and get them out of the lake and then take them to our camp. So that's where we get our water from. Sometimes it's frozen out there, and so we'll take blocks of ice, and you could melt that too. Here in town, they have desalination plant where they can get the salt out of the water and use the water that way. But it's a highly prized commodity here. We're asked not to take long showers and not to waste water. So, but at the same time, they tell us, man, you gotta keep drinking. Since it's so cold and so dry, they always want people drinking that water to stay hydrated. And I don't have it with me in my pocket, but if we're drinking all that water, it's got to go somewhere. So, yeah, you can't go around here and just peeing on the ground. When we're out in the field, you think about going camping like anywhere else, yeah, you just walk behind a tree or a bush or whatever. But no, we carry pee bottles here, big Nalgene bottles, and so hopefully they'll last you for the day, and you bring it back to town and pour it into their toilets here, and it ends up out into the sewage treatment plant. And while we're on that, because you're wondering too, what about poo? Yeah, we can't poo on the ground either. There are bathrooms out in the camps, so you gotta wait till you're at one of those huts that are out there where there's a toilet, and it goes into a bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket, and I put a real cool video. If you want to watch a video of how to change a poo bucket in a field camp, check out my blog about it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago. But Hopper, he's one of the other top scientists here. He demonstrates how to change a poo bucket. So I recommend it. It's going to be a big hit on YouTube.
I'm sure it will be.
And then it all gets put into big buckets, and helicopters sling it back to town. It goes back on the barge and back to America.
Oh boy, we can hardly wait for it to show up. Daniel Dickerson, I think that's family member, wants to know, what are the main responsibilities of the fire department?
They're mainly in charge. In fact, it's probably Danelle would be my guess.
Oh,
that's my wife.
Yeah, sorry about that, Danielle.
Yeah, that's Danelle. Yeah, the fire department, they're not all that busy. Well, they're busy. They train all the time. They have great skills. They really have 2 different crews. They divide up each day. One crew goes out to the airfield, which is out on the ice sheet, and that's where they land. That's our runway. They land the planes out on the ice sheet. And so one crew will go out there and run the fire truck in case if there's an accident out there with the airplane. And then the other crew stays here in town, and They've done fire drills since we've been here. They are the ones that are assigned to take care of any kind of spill that goes on the ground. We haven't talked about that at all, but that could be a whole hour with how the scientists and explorers here and the support people, how we are to keep Antarctica pristine. You won't find a piece of garbage anywhere. We had a generator out with us, and to fill the generator up with gas, we had to have a sponge around the gas tank, poured it into the generator that was sitting like in two different sheets, like swimming pools. So if there was a drop that spilled out of that, it would land into that container. The fire department, if we have a spill of anything significant, like a cup of fuel, that's a fire department thing. They respond, and so they would take care of that. But they train all the time. I went and took a visit with the guy a couple of nights ago, and they're dialed in. They also do medical. They're paramedics, too. So they carry their drugs and their equipment around wherever they go.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for all of the questions that I see that came through my area. Judy, how's it on your end? Okay. Very good. Well, I'm going to leave Kevin up on the screen here for a moment, and if people want to unmute their phones and everything,